Everyone, thanks for listening to the GTM News Show. I got Leslie Barrett here today. Thanks, Leslie, for joining me.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Super great to have you. We're going to be talking and kind of some context for the audience why I brought Leslie on. We're going to be talking about customer marketing, customer advocacy. This is something that I have a passion for and have seen the effectiveness in just like overall marketing efficiency, growth, and ultimately happy customers and more growth. So Leslie, I'd love to hear in your own words, first for the audience, kind of how Leslie and I got connected as well is connect on LinkedIn. You have a bunch of great content. Encourage everyone to go on there. You have a course, an ebook, I think, in the works or coming out soon, which maybe we can talk a little bit about that. But first, I'd love for you to kind of just, for the audience, if people aren't familiar with these terms like customer marketing or customer advocacy, can you define in your own words those two areas?
Of course. Yes, you mentioned passion, and I have a lot of that in this area. I think customer marketing is like, it's evolving, right? Like I would say a couple years back, we were just looked at as, kind of fluffy and that you can't really measure and come up with the ROI of customer marketing initiatives or even the department. And we're emerging. So it's really, really exciting to see like the changes. And I hope I'm a part of that change, right? Because I'm a big advocate for this field. And that's what I post on LinkedIn and all that stuff. And actually, you're getting the exclusive because I just got a promotion yesterday.
That's right. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm the senior.
Well deserved, I'm sure.
Yeah, I was not shocked, but you're always so excited when you get something like that. Yeah. I'm the senior director of customer marketing and evangelism, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, customer marketing to me, I think when most people think about it, it encompasses everything post-purchase. And helping the customers out on their journey with the focus on, building quality relationships with customers through 4 pillars, I like to say: adoption, retention, expansion, and advocacy. And that is true. I do all that, but then also a big part of customer marketing is along the sales cycle and all of the amazing stuff that customer marketers create, like case studies and reviews and video testimonials and the reference program and the referral programs, all to help accelerate deals and even bring them in. So it's a lot.
I love it. Thanks for sharing. And I love those 4 pillars. The adoption, I love, especially that, because I think a lot of folks are familiar with like, hey, how do we expand in customers? Or everyone's thinking about new revenue. Everyone's thinking about how do we get folks to maybe even advocacy. But as far as adoption and how marketing can influence the adoption of a product, the aha moments or the value, kind of the time to value ratio, super cool. Then all the other stuff as well, which is case studies, reviews, and even in our prep call, I remember us chatting about how there's a lot there, and it's hard to probably juggle it all, and hard to know where to focus.
Yes,
sure. I'd love to hear from your voice too, as well as just where do you see, or maybe where did you first see kind of the aha moment when it came to customer marketing and advocacy? Like how did it click for you? If you're maybe somebody, like, once again, is not familiar, or they're new to it, or maybe they're trying to get an executive buy-in to do customer marketing, what were the aha moments you saw that helped convince you?
Yeah, maybe 2. One, I would say back in 2016 when, it was customer advocacy has been around for like 25 years, but, just kind of like B2B SaaS customer advocacy. I started in 2016, and it started because the SaaS product or platform that I was working for, it wasn't ready yet. We're like a startup, Series A, and the product wasn't quite there. So they said, Leslie, go create a diversion and go like make a program for our customers and just like start spoiling them and make something shiny over here so that their attention will be directed over here while we work on the product. And I was like, okay. So I did it and I jumped right in. I went straight to like Influitive to learn everything I could about, how to do this and the secret sauce and all of that stuff. And so, yeah, it was like a really successful program. And I just saw that was my aha moment that like, oh my gosh, I'm retaining these customers on my own right now. Like the platform isn't even, it's like kind of working, not really, but I have,
Wow.
a really, really strong relationship with all these customers that they're sticking by us until we're ready because I'm doing all these like fun things. And then as I progressed, I would say to kind of get a customer reference program set up really quickly because that is where you can prove the ROI of that program so easily. I do have a newsletter episode on it. It's episode 12, I think, and it's just going to walk you through exactly how to build it all, build the sales force. You don't need any fancy platforms or anything like that. You just need Slack, maybe Salesforce, and a gifting tool, but we won't go into Sendoso today, but do recommend that as a gifting platform.
Cool. I love it. Thanks for sharing. That's, and I love, just you threw out a couple areas there that were cool. So just if I'm hearing you correctly, in your situation, you were working for a company that didn't have a product, essentially. They weren't selling anything. They had you go into the market, connect with the customers, build, I guess, almost a movement around a problem, around an idea, around something, I imagine, and build a relationship with these customers pre-product.
Yeah.
Through these evangelism activities.
Yeah, it was there and people were seeing, great success with it, but in order to scale the platform, that technology wasn't there. So I worked with the customers who were seeing value and was able to amplify their careers by partnering with our brand and doing speaking opportunities about the success that they were seeing. And so marketers do that beautifully, by the way. Yes, I'm a marketer who markets to marketers and I life, I know. But if you notice, sometimes they could be like a marketing associate and then they pair up with a platform and they just do success stories and speaking opportunities and PR releases. And then all of a sudden they're like the VP of marketing because, it's a personal brand and they just kind of buddy up with a platform that is up and coming.
Huh. That's super cool. That is what an amazing case study, and just in general. And I think this idea that I think you discovered was almost, and how I think of marketing in general is like marketing is almost like the first product of the organization. And I think customer marketing can influence this, product marketing influence this as well heavily, but it's almost in content, right? It's almost like in community and all that fun stuff, thought leadership. But if you can take all of your ideas, your thought leadership, your subject matter expertise, your point of view, all that fun stuff, package it into content, community, evangelism, connecting with folks, it's a pre-product to the actual product you're selling. And it's one of the most efficient ways to go to market, I think, and have experience is making your product its own, you're marketing its own product, right? You think of it as a product that you're actually delivering value. They don't have to purchase it. You're exchanging attention for ultimately value, right? Your customers giving you attention and for value. Super cool. You mentioned reference programs. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think people are getting tired of just hearing from sales and marketing, and they want to hear from actual customers. So I think there's all this kind of like noise, right? And I know a lot of people, and this slogan is all over the place, like break through the noise. And, if you don't have the luxury of these platforms and these, like intent data or like, sending platform, for example, then how else are you going to get the attention of prospects? And I think that customer voice, those referrals, just, having it just show up on your LinkedIn feed all of the time, and having those big customer quotes, that really, like, I think
so powerful.
It's powerful, and it has to be the norm going forward.
That's crazy. I mean, I think like reviews, I was doing some research for a separate project, but I was looking at reviews, and 99% of consumers, 99%, almost every consumer, researches online before making any sort of major decision. So reviews, community, I think like with the past 10 years, even taking a step back, like the past 10 years, especially for like B2B SaaS or just growth in general, it was a good time, right, for everyone. And we were able to throw money at the wall and grow in a lot of ways. And so the problem with that is, though, we weren't necessarily always thinking about the customer experience or how are we connecting with customers and leveraging them and building those programs. And I think now we're having to be more creative, to your point of like, hey, if you don't have the resources to invest in a lot of marketing, how do you move the needle? And just community in general, like having that advocacy and having folks that can connect within the community is just so powerful. I'm constantly, I mean, we get so many ads every day, right? Like the average person receives like 5,000 ads a day. Yeah. I think referrals, all that stuff, like, there's just, I think it's like the tip of the iceberg. Like a lot of other marketing channels have been developed. A lot of the demand gen channels have been developed. I think customer marketing, one of those areas that we're like, maybe practitioners like yourself that do it day in, day out, have, see the full potential. But I think most people have only tapped into the full potential of customer marketing.
Beautifully said. Yes. Sadly said, but yes.
Well, great opportunity for you and others to educate. I'm curious, especially in this market, going back to like, 2023, looking at the market, what would be like 5, or 3 to 5 in top of your mind, retention or expansion plays you could see customer marketing be used for?
I mean, the first one that just like jumps out at me is events. Events are back. And they're just so powerful because everybody right now has that, like, they're so excited to be back. And so it's not just another happy hour that you had to go through before COVID and like, I don't want to go. Now everybody's like super excited to go and super open, right, to meet new people. So, I love all of the events, right? Because I'm such a chatty Cathy and I'm very outgoing. And so I love putting on a customer advisory board. But the new thing that I'm doing now is a customer advisory board around like 2 p.m. And then afterwards, we're going to have, we'll have drinks and cocktails and stuff, but then we're inviting our prospects to come and have drinks with us. So it's just like getting your prospects into like an environment with your top advocates and the people who use your platform. It's
that's awesome.
Right. And that, any event that demand gen is throwing, always inject customers or, advocates. I'm in charge. If anybody at the company ever wants to talk to a customer, they go through me. Okay. And so I'm happy to set up the best person to go to an event, to talk to someone, all that good stuff. Another retention play or expansion, you said too, right?
Yeah, retention, expansion. Yeah.
Let me see here. Well, not to talk too much about direct mail, but I'm pretty sure the majority of SaaS folks understand the power of that and all of the creative things that you can do to get somebody's attention, to pay attention, to get that contract signed and all of that.
Throw out a couple ideas. I'd love to hear just what you've seen that's like, ooh, that's a cool, really unique.
Yeah, so I like the 2-part plays, right? So like right before the renewal, you could go ahead and send them champagne glasses, right? And they're like, oh, well, what do I put in this? And then once the deal's closed, then you can send them a really fancy bottle of champagne. So I like those. And yes, that costs a lot of money, but there are things that you can do that are relatively like very low cost, especially if you buy it at a high quantity, then the cost can be reduced significantly. For example, my favorite scent is, and this could be used in onboarding, it could be used as a renewal play, but it's a bag of Jelly Bellies, all one color, right? So take your 2 brand colors, like, right, ours is orange and teal. So it's a bag of Jelly Bellies, all orange. And then right in the middle is a teal Jelly Belly. And the messaging says, get ready to stand out with Sendoso. Something like that, right? So and I think those were like 86 cents from the quantity that we have. So there's
I love that.
ways that you can do it. It's, as long as your messaging lands and sticks out in people's mind, like I think it, and I mean, come on, puns are so fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I love the combination because that in of itself, it's almost like whatever the tactic is or whatever strategy you're doing, it's usually a mixture. And even in that specific like gift, there's like multiple levels you had that literally and figuratively of like, you're going after, there's an aesthetic appeal, right? Just like looks like, oh, that's pretty. And then you're like, oh, well, that's a contrast. And then you're going after like, they can actually eat it. That's enjoyable. But then you're also touching, the pun and then the humor, and then you're placing your brand in there. And super cool.
Yeah. There's plenty of places that we can go down the rabbit hole. Maybe people who are listening, they work in highly regulated industries, right? They're like, okay, Leslie, the Jelly Bellies definitely will work on marketers, but I market to, bankers or lawyers, and that just ain't going to cut it. And so what I would say to that is spend money on, well, highly regulated industries, sometimes you can only spend $25 with them. And so my kind of advice there is to spend money on the packaging, right? So like think Apple, when everything, you open it up and you're like so excited to get like your phone or your laptop, and everything is in its nook, and it's that thick cardboard that's just like super sexy, and like it's just looks so high quality, and it really brings that like, damn, this brand is hot right now, and like just excitement around the brand, and partnering with them or continuing to partner with them in the renewals, and then you can put like, I love that, a video mailer in there as well, or like a beer stein. Anyway, I
love that, because that's even more, I mean, it's just an aesthetically appealing process. So to your point, you're associating, like Apple has done a great job of that. Other brands are doing a great job of that too, of just like associating your brand with, just sleek and sexy is really what it comes down to, like, but also just professional and cutting edge and all that fun stuff. But you're also, I think sometimes gifts for me can be, they're almost too over the top, where it's like, okay, that's either too personalized where it's kind of creepy, or it's like you're just buying my time, so it's not really special. This kind of is a sweet medium where you're like, it's not really a gift.
Right.
You're actually just trying to get my attention, but you're doing it in a really nice, like pleasant way, and professional, and just like, that you're just like straight to the point. It's like, hey, here's our brand, here's what we do. Maybe you add another gift in there too, or another level, but I like that. It's cool.
Yeah. And I would say one level above that are people who cannot accept gifts at all. And then that's where like the charity choice, we call it charity choice at Sendoso, comes in with those charity e-gifts. But another cool play is, and this would probably be for your target accounts, right? But to actually but give to a charity and then get a physical receipt and then put that in a note or an envelope and then mail that off. And then when they open it, they're like, oh, wow, she really did do that. Like, it wasn't just an e-gift that I don't know where that money went. So, just take the digital and the digital and physical, and then just take it to that next level of like going to the heart, right? Getting to the heart. I don't care who you are, if you are someone who, invented the moon, or a VP or a C-suite, like people care about their children. They care about their pets. So any personalization around that really hits the heart. And you got to respond to that stuff.
I love that. And a lot of those things, most of those things I think you mentioned, you can do them at scale too. They're not something that you can't do a lot of, where you have to, but some of it you can. Super cool, Leslie. I think we need to do a part 2. So I'm going to get your commitment to come on and do a part 2, because we have a bunch more we could talk about and nerd out about customer marketing. How can folks follow you and connect with you?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm on LinkedIn, Leslie Barrett. And then, hey, if you ever want to talk Sendoso, Leslie@sendoso.com. Like I'm all ear. Like I love talking about direct mail and especially how it, goes into the sales cycle and all that good stuff. And then I have a newsletter if you want to go read those episodes. It's cmasoulmate.substack.com. But we'll put all that information probably in the notes of this podcast,
Totally.
right? Okay, cool.
Totally.
Well, thanks for having me.
Perfect, Leslie. Thanks so much for coming on. Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.